We don't take any risk that will ruin the reputation of the brand or of ourselves. If you go to Ferrari factory, many areas are still handmade. You can see that charm of people putting the car together in the production line. It's not like a mass produce, right? So we have an atelier here, we have a designer to advise you on, the design of your car. It's not just about selling cars, it's about selling the dream. I think that's important. Let's say 99% of my clients love to drive, right? If you say, oh, I don't drive, I sit with my driver, or Ferrari is not for you, right? Because the enjoyment of Ferrari, because of the racing DNA, is when you drive it.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the Source of Success YouTube channel. Today we're genuinely beyond honored to be joined by Kun Memi. Sawadee. As a quick note, this interview is a collaboration between the SOS Club and the ICS Investment Club. But before we get started, please allow us to briefly introduce you to our clubs. So the Source of Success Club inspires, empowers, and advocates through student-led interviews with role models from various fields, turning their stories into meaningful teaching tools for English-speaking classrooms in Thai schools.
At the ICS Investment Club, we aspire to inspire future business and financial leaders through practical seminars and open dialogue, tackling wealth and gender disparities while building a strong foundation grounded in knowledge and growth.
We would also like to thank our partner, Baby Cakes, for their unwavering support. Baby Cakes is a cake shop for every occasion, using recipes passed down since 1999. Most importantly, we also offer same-day custom cakes ready for pickup within the day. So our first question to you is, could you please introduce yourself and share with us briefly about your educational background?
Okay, I'm Nandhamalee, Bhirombhakdi. So most of my life I've been educated abroad. So my father's a diplomat. So I was born in Thailand, but I was in Japan till 2. Then came back to a Thai school, Somtawin, and then I left with my parents to New York because he was posted there 9 years to 11 years. And I came back to Rumudi International School. And then I left for UK at 14 years. So I was in an all-girls school. It's called Westernburt in Gloucestershire until for IGCSE, right, for GCSE. And then at A levels, I moved to an all-boys, but now it's a co-ed. It's called St. Edward's in Oxford. And then after that, I was in London University for SOS for 1 year. And then I got engaged quite quickly. So we got engaged and I moved to New Zealand, to Auckland University. And then I went for my MBA in Boston, Massachusetts, Simmons College. And I went back to an all-girls university, which is kind of cool as well. Yeah.
How about we start off with something light? So what would be your favorite Ferrari model of all time?
Well, actually, in order to enjoy Ferrari, you have to drive it. So, it's like the sports model, which is the most popular one in Thailand with the, let's say it's called a mid-engine. So the current one is called 296. This model is very fun to drive. So, if you accelerate and you brake, it's, very responsive. So that one's quite fun. So, but then we have a Ferrari for every lifestyle. But the current one that I really enjoy is called the Ferrari Roma, because it has like the seat is quite ergonomic, and how you explain it is called it's like F1 in Formula 1 in evening attire. So it's kind of like an understated elegance. So you drive and you feel kind of comfortable, pretty, but people don't take pictures, at the traffic light, So I think at this age you kind of enjoy the quiet luxury. But definitely, it's more from our clients are like the business executives, that they can drive to the meetings and they don't feel that they're driving a Ferrari, right? It's not too loud. But then the other models are very high performance. So it just depends on your lifestyle and your usage of the Ferrari, because we have different models for each lifestyle. Yeah, but my favorite currently, I really enjoy the Roma to just use every day. I think that's kind of like, you kind of enjoy. And you can have a little seat in the back, so you can well, my kids are big now, but like if you have a smaller, younger, kids, you can let them sit in the back as well.
So moving on to some more serious topics, if you don't mind us asking, what are some businesses that you are currently in?
Well, this is actually my main one because I used to work at the bank, Citibank, for 8 years, and then we come and open this business with our partner. So I'm the managing director looking after the business. So Ferrari is a luxury supercar brand, but actually now Ferrari sees itself as a luxury brand, right? So in order to run a luxury business in, let's say, anywhere in the world or in Thailand, it's a lot of details because luxury is about details. So and one is about the details, and we're dealing with, let's say, the top clients, the top tier clients. So basically in that details, it's kind of like personal. It's a personal touch. So I'm always here to look after the clients, to greet, and quite responsive in, seeing the issues or, to help to rectify, or mostly I will be here for the deliveries. When you order the car, the happy moment is when they pick up the car. So we have like a little ceremony, picture, sometimes a little party for the clients. So I will try my best to be there, to hand over the car. So those are the little moments. But and then my another job is meetings at the moment. I just do a lot of meetings to go through each department, because definitely in work you have, your KPIs, your targets, and then you go through the details with each of the department. And then another piece of work is like I deal directly with Ferrari Regional, which is based in Singapore. So that's another work that, I have to report directly to them. And then, then I also, look after every details. Even if you see the flowers in the showroom, I go and pick them myself.
Wow.
I sell a lot of things. I do, I go down to the details of food, food and beverage. When we have events, I choose myself. But you go to that level of details because you want to go through what you call is a customer journey. Because sometimes my team may not understand as well as us. Because I kind of live the life. The food that I eat is the same as what my clients enjoy. So so when we have that experience, we bring that, and then I share that with my team to understand the customer journey. So I think that's another thing that is quite important. Because if you're like in the business, you're hands-on, then you be the role model for your team as well. In every details. So I think that's important to be, the leader of the company.
So hearing from that, as you are the MD of the Cavallino Motors, what has been the highlight of your career, and what are you most proud of your career?
Oh, definitely. When you work, you have to achieve your KPIs. But I think the measurement with that is about the awards that you get, right? So I think the awards is quite important to receive as well, right? So my most we did receive the award from as a top Southeast Asia leader in 2014-15, but in 2015 we also received the Global Award, which is I think that's really the highlight of my career, because it was a surprise. We were nominated in Italy in front of all the, it was like a dealer annual conference where the whole world goes for the meeting. And then since we were nominated, and then we received the second global prize. So the first one was Germany. UK. Yeah, a UK dealer. The third one was German dealer. And then we were the only Asian dealer to receive the prize. So we got the second prize of that year. And then after that, we continued to get the awards for marketing, for after sales, for different various departments and position. So I think that's like a measurement, of course. But then I think the most proudest moment was during the COVID. I think that is the test, because we did go through different events. For example, I'm not sure if you remember that there was a big flood. So the big flood, one thing you really need to move, Ferrari cannot be in the water. So so we had to move, we had to provide space, second floor, everywhere that we had to bring the client's car first. And then we rented another garage, at the apartment to also bring the cars of our clients, to move, because some houses did get flooded at that time. And then we had the sandbags, because in the back is a canal, right? So we had all the sandbags and everything. So we prepared everything. So, okay, we saved, a lot of cars. So that was one event. We did go through the mobs and everything, but the highlight was definitely the COVID. The COVID, if you remember, in 2020, early 20, we didn't know what it was, right? And then we didn't have a vaccine, we don't know. So I called my friend who's the CEO of the hospital. I said, what is this? And we have a few events coming up. What do I do? So he said, oh, okay, you have to separate people, do groups, and just sit and separate. This is before we had a proper policies and things. So I separate, for example, we split everything into 2 teams. Accounting, if one goes down, I still have another one, right? And so fortunately we have a few buildings, so we did separate. We put in the acrylic to separate, and then we spent so much during the COVID with the ATK. ATK, we tested everyone all the time, And the thing is, my staff, even until now, they tell us, report very quickly that, okay, they're in contact with, someone, or, there's a risk. So we quarantine them, and we had to buy laptops, right, notebooks for everyone, just in case they go home and they can work from home, But in the service, it's kind of quite separated, and we don't have air condition because it's a big fan, so it was okay. People can still work. So during the COVID, we never closed. So we made and the turning point was we had a plan for many car launches. Usually we will bring the car over and do a big event, right? 100 people. The biggest one was 400 people, So I had to decide, should we bring the car? So we decided we will bring the car, but we will do Facebook Live. So we will launch in Facebook, which is the first time. So even our organizer team had to kind of do some test run, and had to test everyone, but before we do the Facebook Live. I think earlier, even in the Facebook Live, we had to wear a mask. Really, we wear masks on screen, because I didn't even want to take it off, because it was because we still had a team like this, to come to the showroom. And then we found out that we reached so many people through Facebook, and people who never thought about coming to our showroom came to visit, because we launched the car, we had some explanation, and we said, oh, if you want to book for your private preview of the car, you can, book online, and then you come and see us. And so we did many sessions, for example, 5 sessions a day over 2 weeks for each model launch. So people come like a cinema, but come in their own group, their own family, with their group of friends, and then we do all the ATK tests. So we actually survived COVID to become the top sales after COVID. So I think that was also the problem, because when you have to think when there is don't be scared. I mean, everyone was scared, but as a leader, you have to also come to the office, because I have my team who no one wants to leave the house at the time, right? They had to, some come on public transport or whatever. We have to make sure this is a safe place, right? So I said, if we don't close, if we fight together, I don't have to cut your salary, I don't have to cut your bonus, but then I have everything that is safe, and we consult with the hospital how to manage it, So at the end, we got through COVID, and I never cut my staff salary, which many other companies did, 50% or even 70%, So I think that was something that is new. When people are fearful, you have to kind of overcome it. So I think that is a learning or key takeaway from that event. And then so now and what you got from that is that word is called agility, because in your life you have to face some situation if you run the business, right? Some turning point, some events that is unexpected. So you have to, plan how do you overcome each event and still survive, like that. Yeah.
It's very impressive how you're able to swiftly adapt to the pandemic. That
Yeah.
was unforeseen. Yeah, so I wanted to ask you a question too, like how are you able to maintain hyper-personalization during the pandemic and tailor the customer journey and touch points towards the customer still?
During the pandemic, how do I maintain the business like that?
The hyper-personalization part of things online.
Okay, online, right?
Yeah.
Well, we never have the Facebook Live, and we did the Facebook Live. I think that was one. But then it's still an experience that you have to come and see it. So you still have to book your session. You cannot just. Many people did see it online. We had such a high view, but then a certain group needs to come to see us. But in a private way.
Okay.
So I think even till today, even after the pandemic, we still have like a private view, which is very, very luxury Ferrari style, because when you come to the showroom, then you see, like you come today, I want to be part of this. I want to be part of the family, like that. Definitely online is one channel, but in a luxury brand, you have to feel it, you have to touch it, you have to see it, right? You cannot just see things online, So I think the personalization of the experience is very important, but and then you feel like connected to that person or our future clients in a personal way. So I think that was what was but then the rest, because Ferrari is still like a fan base, right? Because Ferrari is in Formula One and everything. So we still, that Facebook Live is out, and even now Ferrari is very active in the online. If you follow Ferrari, if you follow us, Cavallino Motors, we're very active to, put on the nice cars, the information, everything. So that is for, the fans. But who knows, one day you may be our client, who knows, right? Because it's like an aspiring, I have a lot of clients who are like, since I was young, I told my dad that when we get rich, we'll buy your Ferrari. I have stories like that. So it's still a very kind of like, it's aspiring online, but at the end it becomes personal.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think the in-person visits really make the pivot, and it's just like so awe-inspiring to like fully
Exactly.
immerse in the experience. I wanted to ask also, like, how did you navigate the complexities of Ferrari's global distribution quotas, which are often very limited and tightly controlled?
No, I think Ferrari is just keeping the quota in their each year of production, but then it's kind of flexible. For example, if each year we sell based on the models, for the higher price model we sell less. For the entry level, for example, 296, we sell more. So with that flexibility, Ferrari will give each country the quota based on the orders that they put in, because it's if you see, we have a configuration room. It's a made to order.
Right.
So basically it's kind of customized, right? So when we put in the order, then we get production queue for next year based on the orders we input. But definitely we have to some that we want more. For example, the special editions, we want more, we cannot get more. So we have to work with the clients who get the cars in a limited amount. These clients should usually are collectors. They buy a few more cars, or even the top ones, the F80. So that one is like comes out every 12 years and then is a limited quota, but then you have to be the top collectors of the world. So you have to fight to be the top collectors. So you have to keep on having a relationship with us. Keep on, have a lot of Ferraris in your garage, attend events, this, that. So it's a lot of kind of relationship building over the years. So I think that's a nice part of it, because you have to build the relationship with your clients. It's not just a one-time sales. It's like the idea is you have to keep on having that relationship. In the end, they will get to be the VIP and the top clients, and then they get all these special models as well. So I think that is the idea of it, because it's more of like you don't have so many clients, but you have to look after them well so they repeat. And they don't just repeat, they refer friends.
Wow.
They refer friends, then they refer families. So we also have many clients who oh, okay, I buy this and I like the next one, and then I want to buy another model for my son. So it's a relationship, and then I also look after the whole family. Because you don't just look after the father who buys the car or the mother who buys the cars. But then you look after the clients through their life. So we grow up with our clients who, when we opened, my kids were like, let's say 4 years, 2 to 4, and then our clients are, some just got married, some were just had kids, but then now they grow up together and they're friends. Yeah, so it's what do you call it? It's a Ferrari family. So we grew up together. So my kids are also friends with the Ferrari owners' children until today. So they come to events together, and then even today they go and play golf, and things like that, which is really lovely. So it's that you become part of the family in every way. So I don't just look after the buyer; I look after the whole family as well.
Yeah, seems like a tight-knit community.
Yes, it is. It is. Yeah.
What inspired you to take on this leadership role when it's traditionally like led by men, but you broke through that, stereotype? What inspired you to do that?
Actually, I grew up when my grandmother is a real estate developer. So I grew up because my father is an ambassador, the diplomatic service. So I grew up seeing my grandmother as a working lady, So when because we live kind of a different house, we're in the same compound. So I go to see her for dinner, and then I see her, working. When I was in UK, and I come back to visit her, I go to her office, and then I see her, signing the documents, building condominiums, office building. So I grew up seeing a lady in power and working, as an executive, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur. So I never saw through, that you're a lady or a man. I don't see through that. So I just see that it's about your capability. I think if you're like whatever, you're female or male, it's just about it's about your performance. I think So I see through that. I don't see it as an obstacle, because for example, this is a management skill, right? You can manage everything. You can manage any product. You can go and sell anything you want. Tissue paper or whatever. You can sell. What do you call it? Toothpaste or whatever. It's a management skill, So you can, when you come and sell cars or something you're not familiar with, you just have to study more. You just have to study deeply and more about the product you're selling, whatever it is. So I consider this as a management skill, and you just have to have the attention to details, and you just have to be, work smart, conscientious, and then you work with a team that is an expert. It's like, for example, when we open, my husband is very passionate about this, so I worked closely with him as well. And then we also have the team of mechanics. We had a team, and now we grow from a small team of mechanics, accountant, and now we have the paint shop, and we have the marketing. We have other teams. But in the beginning, I had to go a lot to all the events, to listen in, about the engine and this, that, just to get the feel of it and to understand it. Even to today, I will ask them, so what exactly is this part? What is it for? When it breaks down, what is that? So you kind of, you study about it as well. So I don't see, male or female as an obstacle, but when I hire here, I don't see that as well. But in Thailand, it's kind of skewed a bit, because mechanics are usually male, right? You hardly, maybe in Europe you can see some ladies mechanic, but I didn't. I go a lot to visit, and then usually it's still male dominated in some position. But we just hired a warranty lady, we have usually it's men, but now it's a warranty lady who do all the claims as well, right? And when we hire in here, if you work with a top brand, we only want the top people. So it's okay whether you're like a male or female, but we just have to be, very professional and in the top tier. And if you have the good English skill, it is also a plus, because all the manuals are in English. Yeah, so I think that's but definitely as a lady in that era, I had to prove myself because in that era there was hardly any GM or managing director as a lady. Now maybe a bit, but still very low. You know, so because you don't think about that, but then you have to prove yourself, and then at the end you have the, you know, the skills, and then we got the awards and everything. So that's kind of like a point that, you know, you can see that you can overcome that. But then I still keep my feminine side, you know, the side that, you know, I look after everyone, I look after the family. So that is, I think that is a feminine trait, which may be different to men. Maybe they don't go into that level of details, you know, that you look after until the kids of the clients or the wife of the clients, or, you know, so you dig deep because of maybe that's a kind of like a mother mother trait, you know.
Right.
But that's kind of like a difference, and I don't think men will go and buy the, like a male MD would go and buy the flowers, you know what I mean? You know, I go to that level of details, you know, something like that, you know. So I think that's the difference. But I think it's you just have to be a very capable person, and you have to, when you work, because I was at the bank before, I also work in details. You know, whatever work I got, I do. You know, so I think that's so I learned a lot through my career, just doing everything, and then I got promoted very fast as well, because, you know, then you do proactive, you think, you know. But anyway, when you work for over, let's say, your career of, I worked since I was let's say 27 until now. When you work for a long time, you still have to be very modern in your thinking. You have to be very agile. You have to adapt. You know, so I think you have to kind of be forever young. I think maybe you can use that word, because you have to be, you have to, like, you know, be in trend, right? Because whatever you sell, you have to capture the trend of the younger generation. You know, like that, right? Because my clients who now is you know, now they're, maybe my clients are my client's son now, who's taking over the daughter who's taking over the cars.
Yeah, it's
right?
generational.
It's a generation thing. So you have to know, you know, how you know, operate. So I think that's another skill, that you have to capture the trend of each generation. Yeah.
It's very, like, it's truly motivating to hear that you're increasing representation through your journey of, like, trailblazing various industries. We'd like to quickly circle back to Bo's question about
Which one?
F1. So since nowadays F1 is basically rapidly gaining popularity, I should use that word. So if it were to come to Thailand, right? So what kind of impact do you think it could have on the motorsports cars cultures here, or like the luxury cars branding here?
Well, I think Ferrari has always been in Formula One, because Mr. Enzo, right, the founder of Ferrari, was a race driver. You know, so Ferrari has a DNA of racing. So I think you know the story, because he funded his racing team through the sales of the cars, right? So Ferrari has a very, very strong Ferrari DNA. So some of our clients do also become like racers, gentlemen racers as well. And now we have the Club Challenge, or even my husband raced Ferrari GT3 in the Thailand Super Series, and my son is now driving the Formula Regional 3 cars as well. So, you know, so it's like a very racing DNA situation, you know. So definitely we're a big fan of Formula One, and we're a big fan of not just Formula One but Ferrari team as well. You know, so I think it's just a reinforcement of the brand, because definitely Ferrari is always there, and you always see, you know, you always think of Formula One and Ferrari through the years, and, you know, who doesn't like Charles Leclerc, right? And Lewis Hamilton. So they're now, because of the Netflix, it becomes like idol, you know, like an idol celebrity. So I think that was what it changed. Before it was a real sport that, you know, you don't know the characters, just, you know, you have to really understand the sport in a deeper level. But now it's more like a lifestyle celebrity, you know, things like that. But in terms of the country wise, you will bring, because every year we do go to see Formula One as a family trip. Yeah, because of our family with a racing love for the race. So every year we go to different countries to see Formula One. This year we went to Barcelona. Last year, I think we went to Monza, so each year we change the country. So what we'll bring to Thailand is let's say grade A clientele, because the paddocks are, it's very high price and everything. So you will get, it's a very good thing to have because you will get the grade A clientele to visit our country. Our 5-star hotel will be full. We will get all these, really top-tier tourists to come and join the country. So, and I think our roads and streets will be very clean because of the quality of the racetrack, right? It has to be another level, to be very safe and very I think they have a requirement for the street. So I think around the area will have the street will be amazing. So I think it'll be very good for the country. I think in the sense of the economy as well. Yeah.
It's great to hear that F1 will bolster the economy.
Yes, for sure.
With the Ferrari families.
Yes.
Yeah,
and maybe the brand people really get excited, as well.
I believe a lot of people will be really excited.
Yes, for sure. Yes.
Yeah. Just to slide in another question, what are your thoughts on the recent F1 movie? Did you enjoy it?
Yes, I got to see on one of the first days, which is really fun. I mean, you don't have to think too much because if you know a lot, and you're like, oh, this is not possible, but definitely they came out and said, different scenes are also based on past events. The crash or the fire or different past events. But I think just enjoy it. I enjoyed and and I think what I admire about the movie is the Brad Pitt also really drove the car. Yeah, and they also put the car in the real races, right? Like at the beginning of the Abu Dhabi race or some Silverstone, when it was lined up, they really put the car there. And they built a lot of things that is like part of the Formula One, but it is actually the movie. So when you study about it, it's like, wow, that's so amazing because it's not like a movie that you go on like another set, But then they put the whole thing. So when they do a shooting, they went on many circuits, Las Vegas, actual circuits, and also really drive with the drivers as well, the real racers. So I think it becomes like the reality and the movie becomes really close. So I think it's such a cool idea for the movie to come out in this way, and it becomes the reality and the movie is kind of like a thin line like that. And I enjoyed Brad Pitt all the way through, of course. Yeah.
And you get to see both reality and what's being portrayed in the movie itself.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to now, since you kind of shared already about representation within Ferrari, I wanted to pass it on to Bua on question 9 about experience.
So since you were studying abroad almost your whole life, as you've been telling us, how did that experience help shape your work philosophy here in Ferrari, Thailand, and your management skills? Since the work culture is really different there and comparing to here, so
I think the first thing is about the flexibility. When you move countries, you have to meet new people, right? You have to adapt, right? Each country, even the Western countries are different. You go to UK, US, or New Zealand, it's totally different culture.
Yes.
So one is the adaptability, and if you use the word in work is the agility, right? The ability to adapt and, on the change and be out of comfort zone. I think that's another word. Because, now it's globalization, so it was kind of dynamic to see the different cultures. Then you understand how to work with people from so many cultures. In Rio, because you had to go and live there for a few years, right, in each country. So that is one. And I think in the independence, because I had to think of things to solve many things myself as well. I don't have because when you're in a boarding school or you're in university, you have to plan your own time, right? You don't have a mom can you do your homework now, please? You have to, take a shower now, like that. Can you, right? It's just and when you're there, you have to plan your own. You have to kind of resolve. And in my era, we don't have the smartphone FaceTime. You have to use the coins to call mom once a week from school, something like that. or write a letter. It was like during that time, you know, we didn't have a smartphone. So it's like so many things you have to kind of figure it out yourself. So you become like kind of a problem solver. Okay, you're faced with this situation, what do? You know, something like that. And then you have to find your own way, you know. So I think that it makes me like kind of more competent and strong in work, because, you know, sometimes you meet things and you have to kind of resolve it. But I think one thing is besides that, but I have this mindset of that like a yes attitude, you know, like a positive mindset. I think that's kind of important. Yes, you can do it, you know, like that. So I think that helped me throughout my my school years and even until now, because sometimes I don't like the word no, right? When you say the word no, then your brain becomes a no, right? And then, you know, you can always say, okay, you can do it, okay, there's a way, and then your brain will figure it out. So I kind of like this kind of art of manifestation, you know, that type of thing. So I think it's important that you carry this good attitude, the good mindset, and the positive mindset. And, you know, I think when you carry that, then you're kind of like, you know, have like really good vibes to connect, you know, good people, you know, good friends from school, from university, and until now. So I think that's kind of important, that you know, wherever you are, wherever you go, you get that good vibes. And then, you know, when positive, you will attract positive. Yeah, and then you will make people happy around you, you know. And so even when I tell my team, you know, when the client says, or when we have a meeting, you just don't say no. You just say, okay, let me think about it. Let's see. You know, the word no is like, when you say no is a no, you know. So I think that's another thing that to take back is like, you know, it's a yes attitude. Is you can do it. You know, you can.
Talking about qualities, Ferrari has a very high pricing power and brand loyalty. So, what qualities are essential for success in luxury brand building and management?
Okay, so one definitely is the quality have to be there, right? You think about things that you buy in a high price, so the quality has to be, you know, top line. So, you know, we also do a lot of QC, not just, you know, when the car needs to travel from the factory to Thailand. So we have, you know, our QC process, pre-deliver inspection before delivery. If you go to Ferrari factory, it's many areas are still handmade. For example, definitely they have the robots and everything, but you can see that charm of people putting the car together in the production line, and also kind of sewing the seats, you know, the leather seats, you know, things like that. So that's one thing, is the quality, you know, it has to run throughout. Two is bespoke, right? The high quality is you can customize. It's not like a mass produce, right? So we have an atelier here, we have a designer to advise you on, you know, the design of your car. If you're not, you don't feel we have enough, we can fly you to Italy to be at the atelier there. So it's like a whole big room with every leather, you know, many colors, and, you know, many things that you can kind of design the car. But then if you're not like satisfied, there's another program called TailorMade. TailorMade is a program that you don't have all these items in the room, in the screen, that you can just choose, like let's say from here. It's like you can customize your console in jeans fabric, or in crocodile leather. You know, it can go like out of the way, you know. So, and you can use like a vintage sofa leather to be your seat, you know. So I think that's really like a high level luxury, right? Because you can customize your car in a way that you normally cannot. So that's a bespoke. And so we have a few clients who do that as well, you know. And then the car become amazing piece of luxury art, you can say that, and it's something that can add value as well. And then from that note, luxury is also about caring, right? Like if you buy something mass, they don't really care about you, right? They just, you know, let you complain and don't go back. But here we we as I told you, I think luxury is about attention to details, you know, like about the touch point. So what you see here is one part of luxury is a CI. You go into Ferrari anywhere in the world, it kind of looks the same, and we change every 5 years. So you do feel luxury because you feel like, oh, you know, it looks you know, the showroom and the leather. This is like casina leather, you know. So the sofa is what we would use in an expensive condo or apartment. It's the same. So you get that feel. So you come here and you feel, oh, you feel like you come into like an Italian apartment. You know, you do feel that, right? Somewhere in Milan, Rome, you can feel like that, right? So that's another thing is the touch point. So you come, and then the people. So the idea is you know, the caring, the touch point, the flowers, or the gift you get on your birthday. You know, things like that. So that's another thing that you feel that it's a luxury because of the how you are taken care as well.
Yeah, and it sounds like an evolutionary process too, because you renew it every 5 years and
the look of the showroom. But I think if you feel luxury, you can go. Sometimes I can send my team to have dinner, you know, at like a 5-star restaurant, right? So you feel that kind of luxury. For example, if you walk into Four Seasons Hotel, right? If you think about that experience, you walk in, everyone, you know, why, you know, touch point, can I help you? This, that, this, that. So, you know, I think that is the vibe that you really, really want as well, to feel, you know, you're in a luxury hotel. This is another vibe that we also, you know, seek for our staff to be at that level as well.
Yeah, alongside with the vibe standard, just hearing you share about the process of like meticulously putting things together and seeing the parts of a Ferrari come into place when you went abroad. Sounds very therapeutic because you get to see the procedure. Yeah, so I wanted to ask you about like what risks are worth taking in this industry?
Well, what risk not to take, maybe. Okay, I think I have to talk about the risk not to take. One, we have to conform to the regulations, right? We're dealing with the cars, we're dealing with the different departments to check the engines, to register the car, right? So I think what I cannot take the risk is not conforming to the regulations. So we have a strict process to conform to the government regulations for, you know, checking the cars. But Ferrari do have a high standard in the Euro 6. So we also have those paperwork to you know, in order to check through as well with our officials, you know, department. And then when you register the car, you know, you have a complete paperwork. When you clear the car out, you pay the correct tax with the correct paperwork. And then it's an ongoing process of auditing, right? Where we audit ourselves, we audit with Ferrari, you know, we audit at every step. We do internal audits as well. So that is I think to rephrase that, we don't take any risks on that, right? Because we have to do everything correct, you know, in terms of pay the tax or correct paperwork, you know, or even with Ferrari, you know, the steps that we are required to do, because it's like a contract. Because we're very lucky to get to be the distributor or the partner with, let's say, the top brand of the world. So we don't take any risk that will ruin the reputation of the brand or of ourselves, because, you know, I'm from a big family as well. So we will not take any risk to tamper with our family name. So, you know, so I do everything quite strict, you know, so we don't actually, I think I have to reverse the question that I don't take a lot of risks at all, you know, and even that at all. So, because we have to do it by the book, I think, you know, because it's not like we're not an entrepreneur selling new products, so we can, you know, take some risks. So it's a very calculated risk. Or it's a risk that is in discussion. So I always consult with Ferrari, I consult with, you know, my shareholders, everything. So as a top management, I don't take, you know, something risky. And then another thing that you have to manage in this type of business is the money, right? Because you have to work a lot with, you know, with a lot of money to to clear the car out. There's a time before the customer pay. It's not like when you sell vans or the normal cars, then the money turns very quickly. You come in, you buy the stock, and then you get the money, then you buy a new one. Here is a long process. One car, is like 1.5 years, let's say, for example. So I think it's a long process of that customer journey, and so everything has to be very precise, in payment, with the team, with the accountants and everything, or every part, even with the service. So and with the service, on that note, is we're dealing with a high-speed engine. So very important that my service team, the mechanics, are very well trained with Ferrari, and then we work together. And then the idea is when the car comes in, we plug in the car and the car goes to headquarters, and they advise on what to do. Everything is recorded. So that is very important because you're working with each model is each one is more advanced, right? Now we have the hybrid, then we will have the electric. So I will not take any risk even with the hybrid. I'm very with the electric in the future because I have to plan for the highest safety standard. So that's why, coming back to that, we do that since before the COVID, we did the ISO. So we did the 3 ISO, health, safety, environment documents. And soon we will add the one that is for net zero carbon. Because I think, if you're not an expert, then you have to find an expertise. But with the ISO, with a high standard, we have the checklist, we have the professor, we have the team to come and check against our standard. So I think, when I do this, so I also tell the team, we don't have to be expert at everything, but we have to get the expert to come and help us, on the things that we don't know. So I think that's another risk that I don't take. So we do the ISO to make sure everything is with the highest standard as well.
Now, from a customer's perspective, could buying a Ferrari be considered like an investment? What are the benefits?
Can be. I had a talk about Ferrari as an investment. If you search on the highest auction cars, I think now, 7 or 8 cars and the top 10 highest value is Ferrari, right? I think even 8. So in the top 10 of the highest value auctioned for a car is Ferrari, right? So of course beyond the top price is of the auction was beyond 1 billion baht. So imagine, you own one car which the future may have immense value because it's on the history, on the heritage, on the story of that car. Maybe it went through some important races or something like that, or someone who owned it before. So I think it's all about the history, the heritage, the story, and it becomes an investment. And we have one model which is called the Speciale, right? The 458 Speciale. And then in that year, the livery, the colors in the front is white, blue, and white. So when you make your car red, so it becomes red, white, red, white, blue, white, red, which is the Thai flag, right? So it's kind of like that becomes a story for us. Oh, the livery and the car was a livery for the American racing team, but it was coincidental that it becomes our Thai flag. So the car, when you put that stripe on, it looks like our flag. So it becomes a story in itself, and it's a car that people do collect and holds a value, So I think that's another important thing. So definitely cars, you do have some depreciation. Some other brands have maybe a lot, but for us, when you value the story, the heritage, and the scarcity, right? When you sell something in a limited pieces, then it holds a value. And some, as I told you, like for example, the Ferrari or the F80, you can have money, you cannot buy it because you have to be a top collector of the world to get these models. So in itself, in Europe, for example, or the US, when this model comes out, the price will go up 3 times. So it holds value in itself because of the scarcity of that money cannot buy experience or the product, or that model,
So, between investing in luxury automotive brands and fast-growing mass brands, which do you think has more potential?
Well, one thing about Ferrari is you have to love to drive, right? Okay, we do have some who doesn't really drive but likes to see it in the garage. But let's say 99% of my clients love to drive, right? If you say, oh, I don't drive, I sit with my driver, or Ferrari is not for you, right? Because the enjoyment of Ferrari, because of the racing DNA, is when you drive it. Yeah, it's just so fun. It's so intense. It's so adrenaline and whatever endorphin stimulation situation, right? So we do have a lot of driving experience on that note to let the clients really test drive and enjoy the car. So I think that is one thing, that when you invest in something, you have to really like it. Maybe you don't like it so much, you have to like it. For example, the Ferrari, you can drive it, you love to drive it, and you also love to see it in the garage, for example. Or if you have a watch, then you enjoy to wear it as well. Maybe some don't, but you have to enjoy wearing a watch at certain point, not just to keep it. Or if you collect painting, you do enjoy having it on your wall a bit, right? Because you enjoy it, and then you do keep some as an investment, something like that. So I think the idea of investing is also to enjoy it. Sometimes some people do collect wine, for example, but you have to love to drink it as well, right? And then you collect it and you drink it and enjoy it, So I think it's the idea, you have to have a passion. Oh, that's the word. Yeah, you have to have a passion. Whatever you have a passion, then you seek to enjoy, and maybe your passion can become your investment as well, like that.
So with the advent of Chinese manufacturers and EVs, where do you see the future of like car manufacturing or like the transport and car industry going? And do you think that Ferrari will be affected by it a lot?
Well, Ferrari is a small manufacturer, so the idea, even in Italy, is can still produce every type of models. The V12, the NA, the hybrid, and eventually it will be the full EV. And it will still be like a top tier. It will still have small, scarce. It won't be a mass product, but definitely the mass situation is like, and so we will not be the player in the price war. It will still be very high end, and experiential. But in the mass segments, it's about the price. It's about the price war. So whoever can cut and can hold will win. But I think on that note, the idea is you have to have the highest safety, because the future of the battery, right? The battery, I think eventually will be, safer. So I think the high standard of the long-lasting battery will be an important issue. And also when you change the battery, it's about the environment as well. Where do you dispose of the battery? I think things like that. Like we have the iPhone, right? So where do the electronic waste go? Can you recycle? Things like that. Because you do feel that you don't use gasoline anymore, but actually electronic waste is still a type of waste, and it's a explosive waste. It's like a dangerous good situation as well. So when you transport battery, it's considered dangerous goods. So I think the people who do the mass sales for these items, they have to consider about the waste, where to dispose, and the safety. So I think on that note, that's important. And I think the price war, the people who buy it will win, because you will get things for a really cool price, because everyone's doing a war on the price. But then you've heard some already closed down, some brands, because they cannot fight in the war anymore, something like that. So I think we're quite fortunate to not be in that segment, because it's another playing field, I think.
Yeah, since Ferrari is known to be a long-term investment, are there any particular procedures that you have to follow to take care of the car, like unique ones?
Oh, the unique ones.
Yeah.
Well, usually if the car goes into my client's collection, you see, they do send me like beautiful garage. Yeah, beautiful garage. displayed as a piece of art with like air conditioning. So I think it's so nice to treat that. And then the idea of it now is many of the high residential housing that we also are partner with. They have like a what you call man cave. So basically, you park your car and we have like a living room, so you can have enjoy like a conversation seeing your car. So okay, that on that note. But then we also have the program, which is called the Classic program. So we're certified, one of the dealers that is certified on the Classic program. So we do take care of the cars throughout the life, but with the certification, we bring in the car and make it original. For example, we change some parts, we make it original, refurbish the whole thing, and we take photos, and the factory will make a book, right? The book, which is that certificate booklet to certify that this car is in like a perfect condition, all refurbished. So that is another thing that we do take care, and it adds value to the car because of this program, which is called the Ferrari Classic program. Ferrari Classique program, if you want to pronounce it like that. And then another thing that we also encourage for the clients who sometimes they go and buy the cars outside, exchange, the owners. So please come and register at Cavallino, because we do take care of the cars throughout the whole life. Because sometimes you have to change, there's like a certain time you have to change the airbags, for example. So we do take care of that. There will be programs throughout the life of each model that Ferrari will have some parts that is worn down, and there will be a time to change it. So it's important to be part of our registration to get that access as well. Yeah.
With your journey in spearheading the service of Ferrari, I wanted to ask you, what does success mean to you personally, and why does that definition motivate the way you pursue it, which is pursue success?
Well, I think success, maybe sometimes you have to judge, because you're in this position, or you're in, you make this certain revenue, right? So maybe that's true, because if you have a success, then you become to like a high position, or you become like you hit your KPIs, your revenue, or whatever. But I think success can be in different form. Definitely, maybe you see me, many people say, because I lead Ferrari in Thailand for 15 years as a lady, that becomes an idol, an icon, maybe you can label that. But I think my success is also to have the long-lasting company, right? You can have a success and then you leave the next year because you cannot sustain the business. So I think success is when and success doesn't mean that you can be successful 2 years, this company, then that company, you change. Because I think you have to prove yourself over at least 7-8 years. Then you become successful in that field, you become an expert. So I feel when you do something, just do it a bit longer, So I see myself, when you hit like the year 8, you become an expertise, like that. And then you can move on as well. So this one, we hit 15 years. When I was at the bank, I was 8 years. Now we're 15 going to 16 years as well. So I think that success will not be judged today. It will be judged that I help to sustain the business throughout my lifetime, as well, not just like in a short period. So sometimes when you do things, you have to make it sustainable, for over a long time. So I think and you see some family business that goes on for the generation, right? So success is still not at that first generation. Then you have to measure, the third generation may destroy it, right? Right? So maybe the success is not the third. Maybe it's like when you hit like 5th generation, then you sustain the business, you grow the business in that time period. So I think success can be measured short term, medium term, and long term. So when you see each business, the measurement of success is not the same. But I think for me, to sustain this business and maybe hands-on to my next the person who will take over from myself and my successor in my position, whoever that will be in the future, to sustain it as well. Because you build this over, let's say, 20-30 years, then I want to make sure that the person who looks after this company will make sure they do take good care and sustain it in a long time, in a long term. So I'm still finding that person to become the next me as well.
Yeah, so like when you look back years from now, what do you hope your leadership at Cavalino Motors will have on the luxury car cultures here in Thailand?
I think it's to be like it's not just about selling cars, it's about selling the dream. I think that's important. I tell myself, when they walk in, it's like a dream. I think you all got excited when you come here. You have to make everyone's dream come true. I think that's the idea of it. So I think that is the idea to make the I've been doing Ferrari for 15 years, but I'm still excited every time I go to the events. That my role is actually to bring that happiness, that excitement over to Thailand as well. So I think the idea is we're selling a dream, and it's selling the experience. It's not just a car. So I think with that note is important that I will make all your dreams come true. But then it's measured on the feedback as well. When I meet people, I get such a good treatment. I want to compliment your team. I think that is the best thing that you can get. I think that's a success. That is actually a one success, when you get that compliment, when you get that good feedback, and when you get from that good feedback, we get the repeat customer, then we get the customer who refer customer, we get the customer who becomes my brother, my sister, my family, and then it's like a loyalty. So I think that's quite important. Whatever you do, you have to build that trust, that loyalty, and that caring, to everyone. So spread the love, and then good things, good karma will come back to you like that.
So I think that pretty much wraps up our time here. So thank you very much, Phoebe, for having us over and letting us have a glimpse of the dream of the Ferrari family. So we would like to thank you very much for having us over. And it's been like a wonderful time for us to have a conversation and ask and receive advice from you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. ขอบคุณที่มานะคะ Thank you for coming.
As for the viewers, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Source of Success channel, and check out the ICS Investment Club too. And stay tuned for more. Thank you. Bye.